new setup. I thought I'd do something different with today's episode. I would go through what I cooked. I feel like this keeps getting lower. Maybe not. Are you getting lower? It is getting lower. You scurry funger Velasquez Jones. Why you not stay? Is that good? Anyhow. So just starting out, so don't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna start the episode, and do you really have to be looking at me? I don't know. Doing what all the YouTubers do out in these streets. These YouTube streets. Maybe if I beat the system. Alright, so like I said, I'm just gonna treat this as a commentary. I haven't looked at this footage for a little bit, so hopefully it'll be new to you and to me, and we can all be one big family. Just what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Boom. So is today day 4? Yeah, so it's the beginning of our last day, or our last full day in Austria. We're just raiding their kitchen, and I'm gonna try and cook something for them. Here we go.
Hot chilies.
Kreuzkümmel.
Kreuzkümmel.
Kreuzkümmel. Do you have cinnamon?
Yes.
I put cinnamon in everything.
Me too.
It's like my signature.
And whichever one you want to use, like if you want to use this one, and then it goes all the way up to 9. But 9 is
Soup's hot.
soup's hot, exactly. So you'll kind of see.
So I normally work with red onions as opposed to white, and they're much. I almost poked myself. I almost stabbed myself while we were there. But I find red onions easier to peel than white most of the time. Funny thing about these onions though is they were super make you cry. I don't know what that's called, but man, these friggin' onions are.
Oh really? Oh no.
Are to cry for. So I'm about to cry there. Gordon Ramsay has this thing about cutting one side of it and then leaving one side of the onion there, and then you cut the onion.
Can Javier survive chopping the onions? Or will his eyes fall out of his sockets?
And then, I don't know. I never end up cutting it like that. Also, if there's an easier way to get the cut onion from the knife or the cutting board onto whatever surface you need to, I always have trouble with that. Trying to get whatever's on the cutting board into a pot or into, right now I'm staging all my ingredients. Ooh. So they had this actual pepper. I love it. I love heat. It's good. And according to me, it's good. Whenever you're slicing peppers, man, Ramsay talks about how you gotta always treat it like you're peeling an orange, and I've used that for ever since I learned about it, man. I've always used that cutting a lot of stuff, and it's not just peppers, but mangoes, pears. You'll find when you become a parent of a kid, all the stuff that you chop up is a lot, and you end up utilizing a lot of your knife skills. Or at least I do. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of chefs out there that also have kids or don't have kids that just do a lot of chopping. Of course, all chefs do chopping. Chopped. Oh, and I don't know if you watched last episode, but last night we had these ribs, and so now I'm using those as the protein for the breakfast. I don't want to, they're much easier to cut when they're cold like this, but it just took a long time to get the meat off the bone. Obviously, it was falling off the bone when we were eating it at the restaurant, but that stuff solidified. Gotta get that pan piping hot, too, with that oil. I actually mixed, I think that was sesame seed oil, maybe, with olive oil. That's one of those things about oil is there's all the different burning things, burning temperatures. Oh, so I actually put a camera up above the stove right there, and it isn't recording any, it got blocked. So I put the meat in there, and I wanted to have that in the edit, and by this time nobody really cares what I'm talking about, but I'm just gonna keep talking. Cheese. From my very first video, they still had cheese left over from the Kaspatzen that we used. Put some butter. I have my protein. I don't really have any veggies per se. Maybe I add some here. Oh, I'm doing eggs. I I think that's definitely salt and pepper eggs. I don't like to add anything to the eggs while I'm cooking them that's like veggie style, because it just like makes the eggs turn all weird when you're cooking them in this state. Scrambling the eggs, I like doing it in the style that you see me swiping the pan right there, like constantly keeping it on the heat, then taking it off the heat so the eggs don't overcook and they get that nice like juicy flavor. Sabrina likes them a little bit more to not so juicy and eggy, but you don't want to overcook them. They'll definitely cook once you take them off the pot. Also, good cooking tip: having mimosas while you're cooking breakfast is probably the best thing to do, because you're gonna win even if you lose at cooking the breakfast. I'm kind of doing a torta. I think these were pitas that they had in their pantry. Anyhow, looks like I'm about to rip them. But a lot of what I like to do with breakfast is at least have one crunchy thing in there. So that's what you see me doing. At least by frying this, it'll give, one, it adds a carb, and two, it adds that texture of crunchiness. Frying, sauteing. I mean, they're thin enough. They're probably frying in there. I like when you take that kind of stuff off too, and it just soaks up all that butter in there. And when you flip it over, and you take it off the pan, it's still crackling and like cooking the bread that you're making, like even when it's off the pan, because it's still hot. Drip that sauce. Oh, yeah. There's the camera that was supposed to be filming up above. So here I'm plating the ribs. I don't like to put the ribs, and it's the ribs and the pepper in there too, but I don't like to put, like I said, the eggs and ribs in the pot at the same time cooking, because then it just turns the eggs into this, like, I don't know, it just doesn't make them turn out well. And by keeping them separate, you get the best of both worlds, and they keep their flavors and their textures well. Final product.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The trials and tribulations of vlogging, setting up the camera so you're actually in the shot and you can eat at the same time.
So excited about the hobby. So awesome. Can't even wait to work.
Yep.
And I think I might be stopping it there. Oh, hey, and it's done. Maybe you guys like this kind of video, maybe you didn't. Write down in the comments if you want me to keep doing stuff like this or not. I find it kind of intriguing if I were to record myself just making normal dinner and then commentary over it, because most of the time I cook stuff and then I don't remember what the heck I cooked. And going back and then looking at this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's probably going through my head when I cooked it. Until next time, I'm trying to get up to 100 subscribers by the end of October. So if you could be one of those people that subscribes to me or shares the word about Javier Mercedes, and I just realized like I'm wearing road stuff and like everything, but whatever. Peace.